So it's playlist number 3. The first song is Fibonacci Spiral Song, and we'll get started at a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and you can press your start button. And we're going to find a nice, comfortable lying down position as promised. I'm going to take with my blanket, getting cozy, and I'm going to use a block for my head, which is what the blanket's for, just to make it a little bit more comfy. Oops. And then for my legs, so the bottom leg is going to be straight, and this is the leg we're going to be working the inner thigh. And the top leg is going to come over like this. Now, I find this a little challenging on my hips. So I take my block and I place the block underneath my calf or muscle so that the hips stay level. So you can do that. It's, that's not, when doing these exercises, this is not part of it, but I just went, you know what? I think that this will feel more comfortable. And just the idea of it now is you now have a straight pelvis, like, always trying to find the pelvis in neutral. Well, here you go. My pelvis is now in neutral. And we're going to take our bottom leg and we'll lift the foot off the floor. And you can press the heel away. I'm going to take my sock off so you can see it, as opposed to it being just lost in the pillow there. So point and flex a few times. And try to do this with your breath. Another nice thing about doing work like this is, it's the kind of work you can start in with this breathing. You don't have to sit for a moment. It's right away. All right. And then bend that knee. And then you can straighten the leg. And you can bend it and straighten. Bend and draw it in and up. And then push it away. And you're starting to maybe feel a little bit of work through that inner thigh, not much yet. And here we go, we're going to reach it away a little higher now. And then we're going to do some lifts up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here we'll hold it up, and that's all of a sudden like, oh, there's some work. And come back into your breath. You can either just stay holding this position, which is a lot, or you can pulse the leg. 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do another set. 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Reach out to the foot, maybe point it, and let's do some circles. 1, 2, and imagine now, so you can feel the fire in the inner thighs. Imagine the muscles hugging that bone. Switch directions. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Beautiful. Okay, you can release that leg. This is my favorite part. So as the leg comes down to the floor, doesn't it feel as if the whole body is just kind of like draining into that hip, dropping all this weight, just settling into the floor? You can take that top foot, draw back behind. We're still on with our heads on this block. It doesn't have to be. I'm just going to bring that knee in. You can lose the block altogether if you want. Just draw that leg in. You can stretch the right leg straight. Just rock a little bit from side to side. Beautiful. Plant that foot down. We're going to I'm taking off my other sock, and I'm going to roll to the second side. So you can just roll yourself over. I'll flip all the way around. Setting up my head position. So just trying to make this feel as comfortable as it can be. It's not the most comfortable thing in the world, but it's really good work for that inner thigh, or so it feels. Enjoying it. I've been doing this one. This is like my move of the week. We're going to take that top leg, or sorry, bottom leg, and lift it up off the floor. Here, just start with a little point and flex. Staying with your breath still. And then you can draw, bend that knee in and stretch the heel out. If you want to add the toes, point the toe, draw the knee in, press out to the heel, stretch the leg out. A couple more. We'll do one last one here. Beautiful. And then reach that heel out. We're going to inhale, lift it up. And exhale, bring it down. And up. And down. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now keep it up and hold here, and either just stay, feeling that thigh muscle hug to the bone, lengthening through the leg, or you can pulse the leg to make it more challenging. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now point the toe. Take a nice big inhale and do circles. 5 in one direction, trying to make the circle as round as possible. 4, 5. I know it's hard, but then again, we only have one more circle to do. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now release the leg down again and feel the whole body kind of just sink into that spot. That's my favorite part so far. I'm gonna tap the right leg down, the left leg down, and take the right knee in. You can move the block from behind your head and just draw that knee in. You can stretch the other leg straight. So just taking a moment here and feeling it out. And take both legs to your chest and hug them in. Do some circles with the knees. And your knees, if you spread them apart, you're going to really feel the inner thighs and what you've just done. Switch directions. So be gentle with it. Try not to, force it into too deep of a stretch here. I'm going to take the legs up, and actually let's hold on to our left leg. We'll kick the right heel forward and we'll roll ourselves up. Beautiful. Let's come sit on our block. So you can place a block underneath your bum. I'm going to sit with my knees on the floor, like so. Just kind of kneeling here. You can sit in any other comfortable position, whatever works for you. I'm going to just take our arms out to the side. Now, notice first, as you close your eyes, where your body's kind of hanging out. And then notice that as you draw the head back, so the head is now on that imaginary wall behind you, you've also probably drawn the shoulders back. You've probably also lifted the heart up a little bit. All excellent. Then reach out through the fingers, feeling the muscles through the biceps and the triceps working. Try to keep the work out of the tops of the shoulders any way you can. If that means dropping the hands down this low, that's fine. Sweep the palms up. Exhale, release them back behind you. We do 4 more sets. Inhale and exhale. 3, 4, and 5. Beautiful. So we inhale, we're going to turn the palms up and we're going to sweep them over our head. And as they come up, try to keep the collarbone, the neck, the jaw comfortable. If that means the hands don't go so close together, that's okay. Once they do, if they do start coming together, imagine that there's a little like pole, like magnetic pole, so that the hands are trying to come together, but they can't, but the arms are nice and straight. We're going to exhale, we're going to spin the hands back behind us and feel the heart reaching up towards the chin as the hands try to come towards each other. Beautiful, sweep back up again. And exhale, sweep back and down. Heart lifts up. Sides of the ribs, try to draw back towards that magic wall as well. 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. Last one, we inhale, come up. And as we exhale, keep pulling the forearms towards each other. Nice strengthen the arms, feeling the muscles here, hugging the arm bones until those arms come down halfway. Draw the shoulders into the shoulder girdle. Open the arms up wide. Exhale, pull them back together. Again, try to find a little molasses to go through. You can spin the palms back behind you if you want. And then spin them forward as we come forward. That's 2. Could be 3, but I'm sticking with 2. 2 more. Keep reaching out through those hands. Here's our last one. Beautiful. Now we're going to bend those elbows. And we're going to press the forearms towards each other. And try to press them in towards each other. Feel the work through the shoulders and the upper arms. Draw the sides of the ribs back. Open the hands up. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, open. 2, 3 more. Beautiful, last one. Beautiful, open up and then just take your hands down. You can give the shoulders a little shake. Just notice they feel a little tired. How cool. All right, we're gonna come off of our block now, and we're gonna come into tabletop position. And find a comfortable position for your hands, right underneath, wrists underneath shoulders. Feel the heart melting down between the hands towards the thumbs. Feel the collarbones widen. Feel the sides of the ribs lift up a little bit. From here, press into the hands and knees and kind of press them down and away from each other as you round yourself up into cat pose. And then inhale, roll yourself in the opposite direction, coming through. Let's keep going. Beautiful. 2 more. And of course, if this doesn't work for you, you can always take your knees off the floor if you find there's too much weight in the knees, just putting it into the hands and the feet. Or you can just come up into do cat and cow or downward dog, upward dog. We're going to come back into neutral, and then we're going to stretch ourselves all the way back and into downward facing dog. Let your ears line up with your upper arms. And then press the hands down and forward, feeling the hips lift up and back. Bend one knee, drop the other heel towards the floor. Maybe lift the toes up, give them a wiggle. And then roll off that foot and bend that knee as the other heel drops to the floor. And maybe the toes lift up. Beautiful. Both heels are gonna lift up towards the sky now. And then come all the way forward onto the toes. Try to stretch the baby toes even, and then bend your knees a little bit, coming into a little stretch of the toes. Inhale, lift the knees back up. Drop the heels down towards the floor and lifting the toes up and giving both sets of toes a wiggle. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, roll up. Making sure the baby toes included, bend the knees, sit the hips back. Big stretch and then come all the way back up, legs straight, and we drop the heels towards the floor. As we inhale, we're gonna come forward from the heels, kind of roll through the foot until we make our way into a plank pose. Beautiful. From plank, we'll lower down. You know you can tap your knees down as you come all the way to the mat. And let the head touch the floor. Feel your hips draw back in space. Feel the pelvis press down, arms widen forward. Peel yourself up off the mat. As you pull the hand back, start to unpeel yourself to the floor, feeling as if you've gone about a 7 meter more forward. Drop the head to the mat. Inhale, peel yourself up again. And exhale, peel yourself back down. One last time. As you come back down, this time slide your hands back. Press hands and knees into the floor. We're up and we're coming into downward facing dog. You can pedal up the heels again here. We're gonna look forward. Let's take our right leg forward towards our right thumb. Back knee can come to the floor if you want. It doesn't need to, and we'll start to rock it back and forth. Beautiful. Last one. As we inhale and come forward, let's lift ourselves up. Take 3 breaths in this lunge pose. Trying to find some comfort in the shoulders. So again, if you feel the shoulders aren't comfortable, readjust. You know you can do it. Try to create a little hollowness. Feel the heart lift up. Beautiful. As we exhale, both hands are going to come to the floor. We're going to step our right leg back. Come right into downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward into plank pose. Roll all the way back. Let's take that left leg now, sweep it up and take it forward towards that left thumb, drop the right knee to the mat. Make your way up into a lunge. We'll do the rock on the way down, don't you worry. Just changing it up a little bit. Beautiful, one last breath here. Exhale, both hands to the floor. Let's do a little rocking back and forth. Beautiful. A couple more times. It should feel nice. As we inhale and come forward, plant that left foot, step the right leg forward. Plant it to the floor and fold. I'm going to press into the floor. We'll roll ourselves up one vertebrae at a time. As you plant the heels, the whole circumference of the foot down, lift the arms up, feel kind of heavy through the legs, light through the rest of the body. And then let's slide those hands down through our hearts. Heart up into the hands as you inhale. Keep the heart lifted. Release your hands, exhale. Inhale, let's take the arms back up again, look up. Exhale, we'll fold forward. Hands to the shins, we'll lengthen into a flat back. We'll take that length with us as we fold back down, bringing the head a little closer towards the toes. Plant the hands to the floor. We'll take our left leg back behind us. And again, the back knee can come to the floor. It does not need to. We're just going to rock a little bit. Take your hands to the outer edges of the mat so you can hold on and start to roll the hips from side to side a little bit. So it's kind of interesting here not to allow that back heel to move. And then you're feeling really that bone kind of really hugging into the hip joint as the body moves around it, kind of the whole mortar and pestle thing. Beautiful. We're going to plant our right foot to the floor. We're going to walk our left hand out a little bit. And let's just do a little big yawn stretch, twist type thing, lifting the arm up. So lots of space here through the chest and open. Hug the left heel back to the midline. Let's take our right hand onto that inner thigh. And we're going to roll the right foot open as we peel the right inner thigh open as well. Now pull the feet back towards each other and you'll feel a little deeper work through that left hip. Beautiful. Left heel still hugging back towards the midline. We're going to take that right arm back up again towards the sky, big stretch. And then we'll take it all the way up and over our head, bringing it forward. And here we can lift that back knee off the floor as we stretch a little longer. Beautiful. Walk your right hand back, step back. You're coming into plank pose. You know you can tap the knees to the floor as you roll forward and lower all the way down to the mat. Inch the hips back, plant the pelvis into the floor. And again, as the arms go wide, you can start to peel yourself right off the mat. And as you come down, you're rolling yourself a little farther forward, letting the head touch down. Inhale up again. And down. This time as we come up, let's hold up here. And we'll pull the hands back, feel the collarbones widen. And you can press into the left hand, just look over your right shoulder, feel a nice side stretch through the whole right side. Sorry, left side, right side feels a little contracted. Beautiful. Can you see your heels? Can you see both heels? As you press more into the left hand and then back into the right, you'll roll back through the center. And we'll go all the way over to the second side. And again, as you take your time getting there, look, breathe. Do you see the same thing on the second side? Press into the right hand and both hands press together as we roll ourselves back. And then we roll all the way back down to the floor. Press hands and knees into the floor as we lift ourselves up. And let's just cat tilt ourselves back through child's pose for a second. And meander through those hips for a little moment longer. When you feel ready on your next exhale, we'll lift ourselves up and into downward facing dog. Beautiful. We're going to look forward. We'll take our left foot forward. And again, here the back knee can stay on the floor. You're going to bring your hands holding onto the outer edges of the mat. I'm just going to turn this down a little bit. And you're rocking back and forth here, trying to drop the hip towards the floor in both directions. You're pulling the legs towards each other. And you're trying to keep that back heel from moving. It wants to move around with the rest of the body. So if you hold it in place, you'll feel more of the thigh bone kind of inching around, or the hip bone moving around that thigh bone. Beautiful. All right, from here, we're going to take our right hand a little bit out to the side. We're going to roll onto the outside of our left foot as we stretch that left arm up. And then you can take your your left hand onto the inner thigh and open it up a little bit. Hang out here for a couple of breaths. Notice if your right heel has started to move out to the right, and Drop back in, and if you have noticed that, what is going on? Like, do you feel what you are stopping as you drop back to the midline? Beautiful. We'll release that hand up towards the sky. And then we're going to take that arm all the way forward and over the head. And the back knee, if you want, can lift off the floor as we stretch the heel and the head and the fingers away from one another. Beautiful. Let's plant the hands again back to midline. We'll stretch ourselves back and into downward facing dog. Let the head go. Inhale, we'll come forward again. And this time we're going to roll ourselves over. So your feet can be apart. And as you drop down, let's drop the left to the left side. Both heels are going to the left. You can stay here, just kind of feeling the twist out, pressing equally down through both arms. Or you can start to lift that right arm up towards the sky. That's up to you. Reach. Lift the hips up a little higher. One more breath here. And then we're going to take that hand back down. You can stretch yourself up through downward facing dog for a little rest. And then we're going to drop our heels over towards the right. And either both hands are pressing into the floor, you're just getting a twist here, or you're making this into an arm balance. Beautiful. Keep lengthening. Keep breathing here. One last breath. Exhale, we're going to take that hand back down again. Stretch back through your downward facing dog. We'll lift our heels up nice and high. Exhale, bend the knees. Make your way back to the front of the mat. And fold. Bring your hands to your shins. You lengthen into a flat back. Exhale, release back down. And notice you may go a little farther. As you press down to the feet, we're going to flat back all the way up, if that feels good. Arms overhead, palms together, and hands come down through your heart. So just take a moment. The heart can be up at the hands. You can rest your hands at your side and just be with yourself for a moment. I'm going to start some sun salutation. So just notice before we move into some chaos if the body is still and ready for it. If not, take 3 deep breaths, regardless if you are ready or not. Inhaling from the soles of the feet, lengthening all the way up to the crown of the head. And from the crown of the head, we root back down to the soles of the feet. 2 more like that. Inhale. And exhale. Last one. Next inhale, let's take those arms up over the head, look up, palms together. Exhale, we'll fold, hinging from the hips. Hands can stay on the floor, lengthen, or you can reach them up onto your shins as you lengthen into Ardha Uttanasana. Take that leg with you, plant the hands to the floor, and step yourself back into plank pose. Lengthen from your heels out to the head. You know you can drop your knees to the floor. Roll a little forward and see if you can hold your chaturanga for a breath. Inhale and exhale. We're going to drop to the floor for this first one. Loop the toes under, curl up through the arms. And keep with a little bend in the elbows to open up the collarbones a little bit. And then press into the hands and feet and see if you can lift the thighs off the mat. All of the work should be done in the upper back here. You shouldn't feel it in the low back. And then moving through your downward facing dog. And set yourself up. Find your feet and hands and plant them into the floor and feel that energy kind of lift up. All the way up through your heels, through your hips. From your heels, from your hands to your hips. We're going to inhale, lift the heels up nice and high. We'll bend our knees, make our way back to the front. And fold. Lengthen into your flat back. Take that length with you as you fold, maybe a little bit deeper. Press down to the floor. We'll make our way all the way up, arms overhead, palms together. Exhale, hands to the heart. We'll do that one more set. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Hands to the shins, lengthen. And hands to the mat. Again, if you want to do full chaturanga here, so start with the elbows a little bent, reach the head forward, bend the elbows. Here you are. Then this time, roll yourself up to upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Feel the energy kind of softening as you come into stillness here. Your shoulders soften, the body is relaxed. Easy to feel the breath drawing in and out through the entire body. Now lift the heels up nice and high, bend the knees, look forward, make your way to the front. And fold. Lengthen into the flat back. Maybe fold a little deeper. Press down to the floor. Come all the way up, arms overhead, palms together. Exhale, hands to your heart. Heart up into the hands. Inhale, keep the heart lifted. Release your hands. Just take a moment in your pose before we move on to Sun 2. Just notice how you're feeling. Going to bend our knees, sweep down into Uttanasana. And reach the fingers away from the tailbone. Feel the sides of the ribs draw back. Breathe. Exhale, fold forward. Hands to the shins, lengthen. Hands to the mat. Moving through Vinyasa. You can do the easiest version of Vinyasa that you want. You can do the most challenging. We're going to take our right leg forward. First, just come up into a regular lunge. Take those arms up. We're going to pull ourselves back and bend that back knee a little bit so we can get a little bit into that quad muscle. And bend the elbows into a cactus if you want. Feel the sacrum getting long, reaching towards the floor. If you want to go down a little lower, you can pull the legs towards each other. And then we're going to inhale, stretch all the way up. And we're going to sweep the hands back behind us as we reach our head forward. Beautiful, little straight leg runner stretch. Balance again as we make our way back up. Beautiful. And then let's take those hands to the floor as we reposition our back foot for Warrior One. And once we come up into Warrior One, let's just hang out here for a breath or two. Bend that front knee a little bit more. Can you feel yourself breathing through the torso nice and easily? Beautiful. Back down to the mat and through your Vinyasa. Left leg is going to come forward. We're going to make our way up into a lunge. Then we're going to start to bend that back knee. Maybe the elbows come into a cactus. Start to lower, lower, lower. Beautiful. Pull the sides of the ribs back. Feel the pelvis stay nice and long and straight. Now we're going to start to straighten both legs, straighten the arms. Press into that back heel as we reach our hands back and our head forward. Straight leg runner stretch. Beautiful. Bend that front knee again. Start to make your way back up into a lunge. Beautiful. Hands to the floor now as we make our way into Warrior One, classical stance. So the heels don't line up. Front knee stays bent. We make our arms come up. Here we are. Beautiful. Soften the shoulders, lift the heart. Maybe the palms come together for a little extra added energy. And then find the floor again, both hands come to the mat and moving through your vinyasa. Downward facing dog, 5 breaths. All right, so we're going to walk to the back of the mat. And we're going to fold. Beautiful. Feel your feet plant down. We're going to start to roll ourselves up. And then we're going to stretch the arms up. And as the hands come back down, walk your feet together. As we inhale the arms up again, let's take that inner right thigh with us as the inner left thigh roots down. Beautiful. As we exhale, we're going to keep the knee lifted and take the hands and bring them underneath that right knee. And as we pull the thigh back, spit your butt back a little bit more. Ears line up with your shoulders. Let's stretch that right leg straight. You know you can hold on with no hands, one hand, both hands, but try to hold it. Imagine that inner thigh doing a little bit higher of a lift. And then we're going to bend into our standing leg and step that right leg all the way forward and sweep up into a lunge. Let's open up, we'll come into warrior 2. Beautiful. Should we do a little moving here? Why not? So inhale, we stretch the arms up, stretch that front leg. Hand moving through molasses as they slowly come back down, keeping that knee tracking the center of the foot. Inhale back up. And exhale down. 3. 4. And 5. Beautiful. Let's pull the legs towards each other. We're taking the hands back behind us. Let's see if we can grab hold of the hands and interlace them. We'll start with the elbows a little bent. Keep the legs pulling towards each other, and as you start to drop the heart down, feel the right buttocks drawing towards that back heel. Forehead is coming towards the inner right ankle or towards the floor, and then once you lift, once the head down, you want to lift the arms up, go for it. Two more breaths here. As we inhale, we're going to lift our head and plant both hands onto the inside of that right leg again, and unplug that back heel. We're back into a lizard pose. We're going to bend the elbows and then straighten them. As we bend the elbows, draw that right inner thigh closer towards that shoulder and lift up. As you bend the elbows and have that inner thigh move closer, reach the head and the heel away, back heel. And up one last time, exhale, drop down. And then drop the knee to the floor, back knee. We're gonna lengthen our head away from the tailbone. Take that right arm up, wrap all the way around, see if you can grab hold of that foot. And draw the heel in a little closer, get a nice big stretch through the front of the quad. Try to draw the heel in more. You can rock around a little bit here, whatever feels good. Beautiful. One last breath. Gonna release that. Gonna lift that back leg up, take that arm all the way back forward and reach it over the head. Turn the hand to the floor, step back, and move through a vinyasa. Here we are in downward facing dog. We're gonna walk ourselves to the back of the mat again. Don't follow me, I'm just walking to the other back of the mat for me. So I can face you. Take a nice big inhale here, lengthen and fold. Walk your feet together. Let's come up into Utkatasana this time first. So sweeping up, Utkatasana. And then pressing into the right leg, inner thigh, reaching down, lift the left inner thigh up. Reach the arms up, and then as the exhale comes, you can sweep those arms under and hold on to that back of the thigh. Pull the back of the thigh back behind you. Spit your inner thighs out, and you can stay with the knee bent, hands on the leg. You can keep your hands on the leg and straighten that leg. You can take your hands off the leg. Wherever you are, feel that inner thigh lifting up a little higher. Hold, hold, hold. And then bend into that standing leg and reach that left leg forward, sweep up into a lunge. Open up, warrior two. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, push everything down. Keep that knee tracking the center of the foot. Inhale up. And exhale, calming down. 3, 4, 5. Good. So we're going to take the hands back behind us. The opposite thumb is going to be the leader this time. So whatever you did on the other side, use the other. As the left buttock draws back towards that right thigh, start to fold forward. Forehead coming towards the inner foot. Outer hip hugging in. Hands can stay on the back, or you can start to lift them up over the head. Breathe. All right, we're going to start to release our hands, both hands pointing onto the inside of that left leg. I'm going to start to bend the elbows, dropping the heart down towards the floor. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, the heart drops down, the inner thigh hugs in and up. And one last time. So you can tap that right knee to the floor. We're going to lengthen. Take that left arm all the way up and over, grab hold of that foot. You can also use a tie here if it's impossible to grab hold of the leg. And as the heel comes in, just start to rock again from side to side. Beautiful. Release that leg, take the arm all the way up and over the head, stretch in both directions. And then plant that hand back down, and again we'll move through a vinyasa. Take a moment in child's pose, relax for a second. All right, so start to roll yourself up, come sit on your heels. If you have blocks, actually let's just do this without blocks today. So we're going to press up, come up into just a standing position, or kneeling position, excuse me, standing on your knees. Then you're going to take your hands by your side, you're going to press into your legs and just start to feel your shoulders draw back in space. So we're pulling a little, stretching our quads and strengthening at the same time. Come back up. So one of the things you don't want to do here is go too far that you have to lift up. That's a lot of stretch on the hamstring, or and the quads, so just play with this one. It's kind of fun. Last time we're going to stay for an extra minute here. And just start to lift the heart up. Beautiful. Sweep the arms back up. We'll come up to standing or to kneeling here. Let's step our left leg forward. Sink into a low lunge. And then inhale, come up and spin yourself open into this pose. It's warrior two type position. All right, so you can, let's just give ourselves a little inner thigh stretch. You can keep the arms lifted here. You can take them onto the leg. Pull the legs towards each other as you get that inner groin stretch. That should feel good after the work we did. And then we're gonna lift up. We're gonna spin that left foot straight. Come into gate pose. So up against that imaginary wall behind you, both shoulders, not just your left one, the right one too. Can you feel as you inhale, the right knee rooting into the floor and all that length, reaching that right arm a little farther over to the left. One last breath here. I'm going to inhale, come back up. Reach out through the left arm to slow down the descent of the right. Keep reaching out, reaching out, reaching out from it. Excellent. And then we're going to take the left arm over the head, and it's going to make the left leg lighter to lift. And then we're going to lift that arm back up in the air. Here we are at a half moon. And in this pose, we're going to see if it feels possible to grab hold of that foot. If not, you can again use your tie here. Let's flatten that right hand right to the floor. If you're anything like me, you'll probably have on your tips of the fingers. So once that comes down, you'll feel more comfortable. Spin the elbow to face the wall behind you so that the shoulder feels open, getting a stretch to the front of the shoulder blade. Or sorry, I guess the pectoral muscle, front of the shoulder right in the front of the body. You can press the foot into the hand and add a little back bend here. Beautiful. A couple more breaths here. This is instead of doing the full version. I like this version. To release this, just start to slowly release your hand, stretch the leg out. And we're going to press down to the right arm and imagine we're reaching up through that top arm. Once again, we come up here. Both arms are going to lift up now. Beautiful. We're going to spin ourselves back to the front into this lunge. And then exhale, both hands come to the floor. We'll stretch that back leg straight. And let's end with a little twist. So let's take the left hand either to the left thigh, to the left shoulder, up in the air. Beautiful. Take that arm over the head, stretch. And then we'll bring it back down to the floor where once again we'll go through a vinyasa, or you can just rest into downward facing dog. And we'll come back into a child's pose for a second. Just take a little moment to rest. Start to slowly make your way up to seated on your knees, and then we're going to come up to standing on our knees, or I guess kneeling. Hands again to your hips or to your back. If you want here, you can, I like to, moving into camel pose. Fingers are kind of resting in, like if you had jean pockets, the fingers would be down in the jean pockets, the thumbs would be hanging out. And again, you're just kind of drawing the shoulders back, trying to stay in a straight line here, and then come back up. So eventually with this pose, when you add that movement, if your hands can touch the floor, then the low back in a camel pose never has to feel used. Right? And then you just press your hands into the feet, draw your hips a little forward, heart up towards the sky. So that's the purpose of all that work in the quads. But now we're just gonna step our right leg forward. Inhale, sweep yourself up into a lunge. And then we're gonna stretch back, come up into this warrior two-like position. And your hands can stay out, or you can rest them as you just open up the inner groin a little bit. You can find a spot and stay there for a moment or two. Keep pulling the legs towards each other. One last time. I'm going to stretch that leg straight. We're going to spin the foot to face forward. Outside of the foot is parallel to the mat, the short edge of the mat. We'll let a little gate pose. So left arm lifts up. From that left knee, lengthen up to the fingers, so feel that connection. And as you exhale, feel the stretch coming through the left side of the waist. Head, shoulder on the wall. Try not to dump your weight into that knee at all. Keep the heart lifted. Breathe. Beautiful. We'll come back up. And then as you reach out through the right arm, start to slow down the descent of the left and flatten it to the floor. As the arm reaches over the head, the leg gets a little lighter. And then reach out to the foot. You can take the arm back up. We're going to bend that knee and see if you can grab hold of the top of the foot. Bend the elbow back behind you. As the heel draws in, get a nice little stretch to the quad. As you press the foot into the hand, you get a stretch to the chest. Keep breathing. Let the heart lift up here. Beautiful. So we're going to slowly start to release that, stretch up. Place that foot back down, and as you reach, press down to the left arm, reach up through the right. Stretch both arms back up. And then we'll spin ourselves open to that leg as we come into a twist, taking the left hand to the floor, left leg lifts up, right hand stays on the thigh, comes to the shoulder, lifts up towards the sky. Breathe. Reach that arm over the head, lengthen. And then take that hand back down towards the floor, stretch back one last time. Downward facing dog. Coming through vinyasa if vinyasas are working for you. Downward, not downward dog, child's pose. Okay, coming back up. So we're going to grab some blocks now. And now let's try a little bit of camel pose. We should be ready. You can place the blocks beside your ankles. Loop the shoulders into the shoulder girdle. We're going to come up again. Actually, since the blocks are here, let's try it just right from the back, right from this position. So we're just going to, again, hinge the hips back a little bit. Hands can be on your back pockets. Lift the heart. What I like about hands in back pocket too is just feel how long the sacrum feels, also how long the pelvis feels, and feel the pelvis or even the hip bones lifting up towards the ribs. Beautiful. Once you find the blocks, lift your heart. So your head can stay comfortably on your chest. The neck bothers you here. See if you can press into whatever your hands are in to lift that heart just a little bit more. Soften the inner groin back. Come out of this push into one hand, lift the other arm up. Lift the other arm up. And then just have a seat for a second. Everyone felt good there? I'm gonna do that one more time. Cool, let's do that one more time. So again, you can use the blocks or you You can also just curl the toes under if that works for you. So either way, this is about 3 inches shorter than, maybe 4 inches shorter, I don't know. Maybe 2 inches, depending, I guess, on your foot size. Hands come into the hand pocket, or into the back pockets. We start to hinge. Feel the heart lift. And then we find, so we can lift up one arm here, take the other arm down to the heel. Reach up. Try to draw the shoulder back into the shoulder girdle. And then drop that hand onto the other heel. Again, in this pose, all the work is being done in the upper back. The lower back is soft, inner groin dropping to the floor. We'll lift up to the opposite hand this time. Reach up and then reach up. And then just have a seat on your hips or on your heels. Just take a moment. Beautiful. Starting to slowly roll down, bringing your belly onto the thighs, bringing your forehead to the mat. And take your hands back behind you and settle them. Beautiful. Inhale, come on back up. And just start to slowly lower yourself to the mat and roll yourself over so you're rolled up on your left forearm. Similar to this one, we're not doing the leg. This time we're going to lift both hips up and bring them down. And up. And down if you want, you can do it without the hand on the floor. Lift up and down. Down. 2 more. And then up we stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop back down. Roll yourself around, come to the other side. Shoulder in the shoulder girdle, legs can be apart or together, it's up to you. I'm going to start with the hand on the floor to lift up, just to show you it's kind of easy with the hand. And then you can take the top arm up, tap the hip down, and up. 2. Shoulder in that shoulder girdle so deeply, you can feel the bicep almost moving to the front of the mat. 3, 4, and 5. Beautiful. Hold. And then release. And then we're going to roll ourselves onto our backs. Just going to take a moment as you draw the knees into your chest and just rock that back a little bit from side to side. All right, so keeping your fingers on the ankles, try to drop the heels towards the floor. And actually, I'm noticing in this, my knees are a little, if my heels are in too close, my knees are on a diagonal. I want my ankles underneath my knees, pretty much exactly. And we're just gonna start by doing a little pelvic tilt, so press the pelvis, or the tailbone down into the floor, the low back will lift up. And then press it the other way. Low back is pressing into the floor, tailbone is up. And again. Keep going a few times more. Okay. On this next inhale up, so tailbone lifting, we're going to start to roll our hips up. And then we're going to roll our hips back down. And the tailbone is going to reverse pressing into the floor. And then we're going to do that again. Lifting up. And then rolling back down. So try more not how fast you can go, but how fluent or liquid the movement can feel through the spine. Now only start to go down halfway. But keep the spine moving through its vertebrae. So hopefully you're starting to feel a little bit of, activity in your glute muscles. Now we're going to add to it. We're going to squeeze our knees together as we come up and down. Keep squeezing the knees and up and down. 3, 4, and 5. Beautiful. Now we're going to roll to the outsides of our feet, knees out, lift up, and exhale halfway down. And up, keep squeezing the legs towards each other and down. 3, 4, and 5. Beautiful. Roll the feet back down. We're going to inhale, roll up. Squeeze the knees together. Roll the knees open. Come back through center and roll halfway down. Inhale, roll back up. Squeeze the knees together. Open the knees up. Come back through center. Feet down. Roll halfway down the spine. Inhale, roll up. Knees together. Knees apart. Feet together. They're not really together, but you know what I mean. Back through center. And roll down halfway. 2 more. Should be a little fire in the butt right now. Squeeze in and out. Squeeze the feet. Bring the feet back together. Hold 5, 4 if you want to pulse. 3, 2, and 1. Soften the inner groin down to the mat. Beautiful. And just again, let the hips get heavy. Sink into the floor a little bit. As the low back flattens to the floor, you can lift the knees up, give them a hug. And just start to rock a little bit from side to side. You can start to move the knees a little bit. You can roll them in circles if that feels good. So we're going to plant our feet to the floor. We're going to lift our hips over to the right about 2 inches. We're going to slide our left leg straight and take our right knee up to the chest. Keep the right shoulder down. We're coming into knee down twist. So knee coming across the body and trying to lift up towards the left arm. Now lengthen from your big toe out to the crown of the head. And as you breathe, feel the spiral through your breath. Or create it. That's what imagination is for. Beautiful. We're going to draw that knee back into the chest. Just a little rock from side to side. Beautiful. We'll plant our right foot back down. We'll plant our left foot back down. We'll lift our hips up through center over to the left 2 inches. Slide the right leg straight. Draw the left knee into the chest. Give it a hug. And then start to roll the knee over towards the right, keeping that left shoulder down. Lengthen through the crown, the toes. Keep that knee up as high as it'll go. Notice how it changes your breath. Beautiful. We'll come back through center. Draw the knee into the chest. Give it a hug. Rock it around a little bit here. We'll plant that foot back down. Move the hips back through center. And let's just come into a little happy baby pose. So again, you can just hold the knees, opening the knees up to the side. If it feels okay to hold on to the feet or the ankles. Back nice and long here, reaching from the head out through tailbone. Feel it flatten to the mat. Feel your knees coming down towards where your underarms are. Breathe. As you release your feet, if there's any last poses that you want to do, give yourself a little stretch, go ahead, but make your way down to Shavasana. And find a body that's hopefully ready to settle. Bring your mind's eye to the breath and notice how the exhale can really help the body soften. And especially with, a direction. So, you can inhale and feel, let's say, your legs. As you exhale, feel your legs now descend. Do the same with the arms. Inhale, feel your arms out. And as you exhale, feel the arms descend. Feel the whole back side of the body descend. Feel the front side of the body also settle, soften down into the floor.
Today's daily Om is called Being Aware of Your Thoughts. Very few people enjoy the company of individuals whose attitudes are persistently negative. Yet so many of us tolerate the critical chatter that can originate within our own minds. Since we're so used to the stream of self-limiting and critical consciousness that winds its way through our thoughts, we're often unaware of the impact these musings have on our lives. It's only when we become aware of the power of such thoughts that we can divest ourselves of them and fill the emptiness they leave with loving, peaceful affirmations. Many people, upon paying careful attention to their thinking patterns, are surprised at the negativity they find there. But when they take notice of involuntary thoughts in a non-judgmental way, we initiate a healing process that will eventually allow us to replace intimidating and upsetting self-talk with positive, empowering thoughts. While the occasional downbeat or judgmental thought may have little impact on your contentment, the ongoing negativity that passes unnoticed can have a dampening effect on your mood and your outlook. When you're aware of the tone of your thoughts, however, you can challenge them. Try to be conscious of your feelings, opinions, and judgments for a single day. From sunup to sundown, scrutinize the messages you're feeding yourself and your subconscious mind. Consider your thoughts from a perspective of a detached observer and try not to judge yourself based on the notions that come unbidden into your mind. Simply watch the flow of your consciousness and make a note of the number of times you find yourself focusing on gloomy notions or indulging in self-directed criticism. As you become increasingly aware of your patterns of thought, whether positive and negative, you will gradually learn to control the character of your stream of consciousness. Endeavor always to remember that the images and ideas that pass through your mind are transient and not a true representation of who you are. In training yourself to be cognizant of your thoughts, you gain the ability to actively modulate your mood. The awareness you cultivate within yourself will eventually enable you to create a foundation of positivity from which you can build a more authentic existence. So you can begin to deepen your breath. The energy starts to move through you and down through your arms and your legs. Encourage the movement by wiggling your fingers and your toes, by stretching and yawning. And just notice how great this feels. This is the best part of the practice. Never ever rush this if you don't have to. Spend a little time on your side. Notice how great you feel when you roll over onto your side. All the work is done and all that's left here is great sensation. So sit with it for a moment. Figure out a way to send it through space to when you're going to bed so you can remember this feeling just as you start to get your covers tucked up under you. I'll help here. Whoosh, there, it's ready for you at 10:30, 11 tonight. All right, when you're ready, make your way up to seated, sit up nice and tall. Bring our hands to our heart and our heart up into our hands. And as we take this moment to shift into gratitude, we can spend a moment recognizing all the things that we have to be grateful for, and there are so many. So I invite you to come up with 2 or 3, let them fill your heart. Of course, sending out some gratitude, some thanks to those that helped you in your practice today. Thanks, everybody. It's great having you. We'll seal in the practice with the sound of one Om. So taking a nice big inhale and a big exhale through the mouth. Inhaling to Om. And we feel that vibration connect us even deeper into the floor. And as a reminder that our thoughts should always be filtered through our hearts, we bring our hands to our head, representing our thoughts, and bring our thoughts back to where they belong. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thanks, guys.